Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Tinmore Podcast. A lot of weeks later, where we're going to read the Seven Magic Balls again for the third attempt.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. We start where we left off, obviously, with the Professor Man in this with the big yellow bird, who's just been like poisoned or whatever. Yeah.
He just suddenly passed out.
Yes.
He's just like, I'm gonna take a nap, you guys. Don't worry about it. And they're like freaking out.
I'm too
But
tired
he's
of
just
listening
taking a
to your
nap.
old bullshit.
Yeah.
Uh, so Tintin looks with his eyes and sees the window has been like shattered, obviously. And he rushes out into the garden and into the woods. But from the cement to the woods, there's like this line, like mini fence, which he falls over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tintin, goodness gracious.
clumsy.
He is kind of clumsy, to be honest.
Yeah.
You can expose an entire drug ring, but there's a mini fence in his way.
I fear nothing but that thing, mini fence. It scares me.
It's like, all these like drug smugglers are like, we can't defeat him. No one could. And then Tintin's over there just tripping over this tiny little fence.
He be tripping
Yeah, Tintin's tripping.
on that fence.
Yes.
Yeah. And Snowy, he keeps chasing, and he wasn't really chasing anything. He just barks in the air, and turns out to just be a cat.
And gosh dang it, Snowy.
And the start. The next day, the captain is in his in the living area together with Mr. Tournesol / Sunflower / Calculus.
Yeah.
And he's reading the newspaper about where the headline says mystery about the magic balls. Director Hornet from the Nature Historical Museum has fallen in a deadly sleep. Sleep well, Hornet Man, and they just go on this talk, because Calculus / Sunflower Man doesn't really hear anything. He's like autistic or something. And Haddock, he says, this is awful. I can't believe that so many people are dying, in quotation mark. And the Sunflower, he says, no, I think it's a little more to the left. Yeah. And the captain,
like, wait, what?
Yeah, he explains, no, I said another victim. And Sunflower, Mr. Sunflower just keeps going. It's like, no, not yet. But I'm going to figure it out. And then the captain, he hands Mr. Sunflower, his newspaper and lets him read it. Bing bong, ring bing bong, bang a bang. Guess who it is? It's Tintin. It's your boy, Tintin. And Snowy.
Your boy.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, and
yeah, and Snowy. And Snowy, he sees a cat, not the same cat from before, but someone like a cat, another cat. But they're not and bad friends anymore. Now they're good buddies, or like they're chaotic
that's
neutral.
debatable.
Yeah.
The reason that the cat doesn't or the reason Snowy doesn't attack the cat is because it hisses at him, and he remembers how it beat the crap out of him. So he's like, maybe not.
Yeah.
God, Snowy's eyes. So weird.
Yeah. It's like the eyes emoji, to be honest.
No, he's basically eye emoji.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Haddock, he greets Tintin and says, "My dear Tintin, it is good to see you again." And he takes him up to Mr. Sunflower. And they just talk about how Awful it is. And then he asks if Sunflower Man knows this guy called Tarragon. And just like no, not I do not. Um um he's a very very kind person. And I can greet and I can say hello to him from you. Words are tough
Yeah.
to say. So they drive home. They drive over to the Tarragon Man in their cool yellow car, and
Yeah.
Haddock be looking hip with his fine
Yeah.
hair and his suit and his monocle.
He's actually like brushed his hair for once, looking fancy.
Yeah. Now that he's
Ooh.
part of the 1%. Kick W. And there's two guys standing out from outside of the gate into Tarragon's house. And they ask, "May we see your papers?" Yes, you may. And they're like, "Okay, that's fine. You can come in." And they have to go through this like pretty big process of getting like through the gate because they need to check the papers.
I mean, fair enough though. Like,
yeah, true.
this guy is one of the last that is actually awake. We're not screwing around here. No naps and no
They predicted
sleeping
the
ever.
coronavirus. Whoa. So they knock on Tarragon's door. Bank, bank, come on in. And Tarragon is so happy to see his Mr. Friend Sunflower Man. Because, they're friends for some reason. Don't question it. It's cool.
I mean, why not, you know?
Yeah, why not? And he like lifts him up and is about to eat him. And Sunflower, he looks so small.
He looks like a child being picked up by like
Yeah.
a family member that they haven't seen in a while, you know?
And don't know.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you've gotten so big, haven't you?
Yeah. And everyone just greets each other. And Tarragon, he shakes Haddock's hand. So his monocle falls out, and he looks like a firm handshake. Extremely firm handshake. And
Yeah.
yeah.
He's trying to assert dominance by crushing their bones.
And Snowy, he comes barking at Tintin because Tintin looks hella dumb with his uncut hair. And Tarragon bursts out of laughter because it's like Snowy got scared of like this dead corpse he has in his like.
Oh, that's just my corpse.
Yeah.
Isn't it so cute?
He has a cube of glass. What's called? With his
Case.
case of glass. With their so-called friend Raskakapak. And he is also known as him who lets the lightning loose. Then suddenly, in the story, it starts reading, and they have to Tintin and Haddock has to take the car in the garage thingamajig. And suddenly, bang, bang, like gunshots. Oh no, gunshots. Whatever.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Fear. I fear the gunshot.
Your emoji.
It's the people who the body was stolen from, and they've got guns. This
Can't have kind. Can't have kind Detroit.
At the crystal balls, they have guns now.
Yeah.
They're shooting with crystal balls.
It's like it gets the last guy. He's like, you know what? These crystal balls are just so inconvenient. Gun.
Gun.
Easier.
Yeah, but it turns out to just be the tires of the car who like exploded.
Oh, so no
yeah.
gun.
Yeah. Somehow Tintin he gets the car inside the garage. Then Tintin comes inside again. And Tarragon he asks if everything's okay. And he explains no, it was just the tires, yeah.
Yeah.
And Tintin he asks
So,
Tarragon What's all this about these crystal balls? What is this? Can you explain? Ooh. And so it begins. Tarragon, he explains that he doesn't really have an opinion on it, but he wrote in like a paper about it, and about the old Peruvian, I think is what it's called, and the science behind that, but he doubts that this will cast light on the mystery why everyone is dying and like sleeping, you know. And they found some like writing on I think on the walls in the Raskakapak's grave, and they've tried to translate it, or they have translated it, and so he just tells Tintin to read it because he's an asshole.
He's like, I'm not gonna. I've already read it, so you can read it yourself.
Yeah. And Tintin, he reads as follows. After many thousands of moons, there will arrive seven white-skinned and open the holy grave where Raskakapak, aka he who lets the lightning loose, rests. These thieves, like grave thieves, will take the Inca king with them to the new world, but this godly curse will follow them across ocean and land. It's incredible, really incredible, and ooh, massive sound effects. Lightning strikes in the like chimney.
The lightning turns into a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a magic
Dragon ball.
Yeah.
Magic ball.
Electro ball. Yeah.
It's Sonic.
Yeah.
Pikachu. Pikachu used
electro ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lightning takes form into an electro ball, aka just a magic ball, and it like swoops around in the entire room and like yeets out the books because heck education. And it yeets Tarragon away and like takes his like jacket off because and it takes our
screw your jacket.
Yeah. And it takes our beloved Sunflower Man up and yeets him on a table. Hey.
Somehow.
And it takes our Raskakapag man out of his glass cube and steals him.
Yeah.
F in the chat for Raskakapag.
F. But the same thing happened to Tintin back in Broken Ear when he was being held hostage. Like, lightning struck and he just got flung, like, miles from the house or whatever.
Yeah.
So apparently this is not an uncommon thing.
God didn't want him dead.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, they just explain like, Raskakapag has disappeared. Whoa! In case anyone nobody could see that. And Tarragon, he's so sweaty because it's so tough to be him, and he has his Sunflower Man's cool hat on. He do be looking dope. And he tells Tintin to read the rest of the report, like translation. So Tintin, he reads, and it says, and there will arrive a day where Raskakapag, in a lightning strike, will bring down the fire and go back to his normal element, aka the lightning, and these white people will be killed, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, the prophecy has happened. And the Raskakapag has disappeared. Now they go to sleep. Sleep.
They're like, well, there's nothing else to be done about it, so let's just go to sleep.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah,
And then
sounds good.
Crystal Ball came into your room and took your precious artifact. Well, get time to go to sleep. Can't investigate it.
Yeah. Tintin,
It,
he has a sort of nightmare about our beloved rescue pack man. He was crawling into his room with his ball of glass and yeets it at him.
yeah.
Ha!
Oh
Yeet.
no.
Yeah. And it turns out it was just a nightmare, as I said. And everyone
Yeah.
he hears the captain who's screaming for help, and it turns out he has had the same nightmare. Um, and I suppose that's the same with our beloved man, um, Sunflower. Yes.
Yeah.
And so they're like, yeah. And in my version, Sunflower Man, he says there's Indians downstairs.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he says much different English, but still.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they go downstairs, and the Haddock, being Haddock, he like falls over a plant,
Oh jeez.
and
So relatable.
yeah. So they go into Terragon's room, where he looks to be sleeping. But wait, he's fallen into a sleep again. He went in from the like chimney, which he didn't think
Yeah.
about before, for some reason.
Like this room has no windows,
Yeah,
and
but a chimney.
it's only got like it has one entrance. Which, first of all, it's really weird that there's like. So
Why is there just a
they
room
like,
with a chimney, like with a fireplace?
Yeah, what the heck?
but like they knock on the door, and then they're like, "Oh, he's not answering. Let's go see if he's okay." But then they crash through the door, and you see that there's another room before this guy's bedroom. So it's like, what were they expecting to happen immediately after they knock?
No.
Like, what? You think he's gonna get up out of bed and then run over to the door to answer you in like 5 seconds flat? Like, I'm
No,
just
literally,
saying.
yeah, the captain knocked like twice. And,
Yeah.
and he called his name twice, and they were like, "Oh, he's not answering."
Like, maybe he's just a deep sleeper and he can't hear you over the distance of an entire room. Just saying.
Yeah.
Rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
Tintin,
just
he
so
also
weird.
notices where the rescue pack man he said in his box, his jewelry has always also been taken, which he left behind.
Yeah.
And a rope falls down from the chimney, and they're like, "Oh, that's why." And the policeman who was with him, he explains, he like shouts through a window. Through which window actually? Wait, what?
Yeah, because the room doesn't have any windows. I think they
Yeah.
went to a different room, and
Yeah.
a different room that does have a window. I don't know.
Contradicting itself.
Yeah. And he tells them to keep an eye out on the window, and they see a black figurine running in the forest, and let's shoot that. Let's shoot at that guy, just running. We can't identify.
That guy's moving. Let's shoot him. It could be one of their own guys for all they know. But they're like, no, shoot
Yeah,
him.
it could be one of the many people just hanging around.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, maybe just a deer.
A human-shaped
A
deer.
very strangely shaped deer, but a deer nonetheless.
Yeah.
Hey, that deer looks exactly like a human. That's so weird.
Yeah, let's feast upon it.
Oh gosh.
And they go out searching, and they don't really find anything. But then Tarragon, he shouts help. So they run back to the house, and he's just like he's sitting up in his bed, and he just saying "Mercy, mercy," and like being hysterical, deep stuff.
Yeah.
Then he falls unconscious again.
Yeah. relatable.
I don't really get what the guy in like the guy that got shot, what he was about. Like, why did we see him? Who was he? I guess.
I think it might say later,
Yeah, probably.
but
Yeah. Yeah. Next day, the doctor man, he is there to diagnose him with sleeping. But he
I
like.
diagnose you with sleep.
Yeah.
I know you, it's unconscious.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. He like points at him and say, "There they are again." Terragon shouts, "There they are again! They will torture me and annoy me. Help me!" Falls asleep again.
They're just gonna be so annoying. Gosh dang.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
Mm-hmm. Then it's your boy, Calculus, aka Sunflower Man. He knocks on the door and says, "Hey, is Terragon there? I want to talk to him, even though he's like dead, like sleeping." And then he explains,
Yeah,
but
well-
he's very sick. He's very sick. And for some, and he thinks he's out in the garden. So he goes out looking for him in the garden. And he takes out, you remember from the Suit of the Unicorn, his, like, whatever it was called. It's like a string. Pendulum, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's doing its magic things, leading him right into a tree to lose his stuff. And he guess what he finds at the end of the tree? A beautiful, like, what's it called?
Bracelet?
Bracelet, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah. And
A
it
very
looks an
chunky-
awful lot like one of those Rasky Pack had on. A few minutes later, they go, Tintin and the captain go out looking in the garden for Sunflower Man. But they can't really find him. And he's not at his room, so they keep looking in the garden. Yes. Like, they're just screaming at him. And so then he sees up in a tree, like, a hand mark, of brown, hopefully dirt. Let's hope it's mud or dirt, and not.
It's just
It's just dirt.
It's dirt.
No.
Just dirt. Don't worry about it.
A bloody hand.
Oh.
And he supposes that it's from the bandit man, from last night. And he.
The one that they shot.
Yeah. In the hand, somehow. Yeah. So then he climbs up in the tree, even though he knows very well that there wouldn't really be anyone still. Yeah. Tintin, he sees something, and he tells Haddock to go a little forward, and it turns out to be Calculus's rain roof umbrella. Hashtag only true Tinmore fans will know that reference.
Go watch that episode if you haven't.
Yeah.
Which, if you haven't watched that episode, why are you here? But, like, also...
Yeah.
Okay.
Shameless plug. Remember to like and subscribe and buy the merch. Into the giveaway.
They're non-existent merch.
Yes. You can go around screaming "I love Tinmore Podcast" if you want to have merch. So Tintin, he's crawled up in the tree, with the blood hand, and he tells our beloved captain to look with his eyes on the ground where he is supposed to find our beloved Sunflower Man's rain roof, aka umbrella. Yes. And Tintin, he finds a bunch of broken branches, and as if someone has been up in the tree. Wait, no mind, as in someone has been fighting.
Yeah.
And they suppose that Sunflower Man might have been fighting. And
He
then
just beating the crap out of someone.
yeah.
They're like, gosh dang it, I can't believe I missed that.
um and Tintin assumes that Sunflower Man has been attacked. But the mob gang yeah, they were up in the tree since they got shot, and then the mob gang was like, hey, Mr. Calculus, we caught you. Then Snowy, he comes barking, as Snowy does. And Tintin tells him to sniff his umbrella. Good taste. And they walk over to this like small, teeny tiny shed in a wall. I don't know why there's a shed in the wall, but there's. And the shed starts shooting and screaming, bang bang, says the shed.
Just
Death.
the entire building starts screeching.
And
Because why not?
yeah, and Tintin he tells the captain to shoot at it while he tries to flank the shed. Snowy gets a bone and gets happy.
Yeah.
Tintin then knocks out the gun from the shed, so now the gun is just a shed. The shed is just a shed. Without a gun now. But the shed man leaves.
Shed.
Yeah, F in the chat for shed. Yeah. So then they just get away. They call the police, and Tintin he says, "This is your number plate. I am very quick at identifying the number plate of cars." So they set out this patrol and everything, awful stuff. Stopping vehicles, which I think they identify as. Yeah, I think they identify as black car or something.
That narrows it down.
Yeah.
Just like, imagine if there was like, all the cars in this city were black or something, and it's like, it's a black car. Like, cool. Okay.
What else?
They're like, no, that's it. It's a black car.
Yeah, so they have this giant blockade and stuff everywhere, and they have like these mines looking things on the road. And a yellow purple car stops and say, "No, I haven't seen him." And the yellow car stops and they say, "No, I haven't seen him either."
Also, the things that are in the road, they're to pop tires of cars that would try to go around.
Oh.
It's like, it does look like some sort of weird bomb though. Like,
Yeah.
what?
It really does.
It do be looking like bomb.
You're gonna lose your kneecap if you step on this.
No. And the captain he's like, "How could someone kidnap my sunflower man? How could they?" And then there's these guys on bikes who's just like,
Yeah.
"How's it going? Have you found anyone?"
Yeah. For a nice little bike ride.
Yeah. Yeah. Then the motorbike people, the other motorbike police people, they go out searching as well. I think they have like a shift. Yeah, no mind. And this like farmer man, he's like, "Hey, it's so a black car. Oh yeah, I've seen one of those. It's down there.
Wow.
It's down the road." Yeah. And so Tintin and the police people, like security people, they get a call. "Hello, we found a black car. Arrested now."
Yeah.
But no
We're
one is.
arresting the car.
Yes, you're coming with us to the police station, Mr. Carr. So the police searches the forest and they don't find anything. And we can just see how the captain, he loves his calculus. He says he was a true
Yeah.
hero with a heart of gold. How could someone kidnap him? Which I just think is very sweet.
He's such a baby. Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah. So Tintin, he's like, I might have found something, and he asked the policeman who was standing on like the roadblock, did you see a big light brown car drive by? And they're like, oh yeah, why? Wonder why? Yeah, there was a big light brown car, a sedan. I guess the car type. Yeah.
Also, Haddock, he's like, well, Sherlock Holmes, in reference to Tintin, he's like, you found something?
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah. Funniest shit I've ever seen. Kicked up. And the police guy, he describes the I think the driver as a tall chin bone, I think. Like really accurate description of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And Tintin, he's literally just like a Sherlock Holmes guy. He's like, do you see this?
Yeah.
These tire prints. These
Yeah.
prints are Opel car wheels.
Yeah. How did no one else besides Tintin see it? Like, it should be obvious, right? And Tintin's just like, oh yeah, there's tire marks, and everyone else is like, wow, Tintin, you're so smart and such a genius. But it's like,
It's just you can just look at the road and then you'd see it.
yeah,
Basically.
honestly.
Just like hints.
Yeah.
Like, good job, Tintin, for looking over there
Yeah.
and seeing
Good
it.
job, Tintin, for using your eyes.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he also found like paint on the tree, which just seems like a pretty long stretch to assume
I
that.
mean, maybe.
Yeah. The next day.
I mean,
what
to
do you
be
mean?
fair, like, it is, like, there's paint on the side of a tree in the forest, so it is kind of, like, super sketchy. Especially because it's right by some time where the car was abandoned. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's not that weird, I think.
The next day, Tintin, he's in his room eating with his golden silverware, and he's reading a newspaper about the newspapers about Mr. Sunflower has been kidnapped and was last seen driving in a light blue,
What?
light brown car.
Driving?
Yeah.
How could he?
He just thinks they're going on a road trip. Or he's like thinking that the other people are like people he's going to kill. He's like, I'm gonna get these people.
Yeah.
But then it's just like,
Then Tintin's phone, phone thingy is ringing. Phone, yeah. And it's Timothy Thompson. Woo!
wow,
Yay!
the main character.
The main characters, did you forget about them? I hope not.
Yeah. And they tell Tintin to get over to like a clinic where all the explorer people were lying in, because you know they're not dead.
Yeah.
And the doctor explains that they have the best specialists on the case, but they don't really seem to find realize anything. And he explains also that at a very a special time during the day, it will happen, and we see it in this big picture about all of the seven explorers, which are they're dancing in the bed or something. Just like
Dance party time. Woo!
dance party.
Doctor's like,
Dance time.
you came just in time, Tintin. It's almost time for our dance party.
Yeah.
And Tintin's just like, what kind of hospital is this?
The people dancing.
He's just like, what?
Kind of ironic. Yeah. So Tintin leaves since, he didn't really get much out of that.
Yeah. They're too busy dancing to say anything.
He didn't want to join the dance party.
He's like, oh crap, I should leave. He's like,
Boring.
Oh man, I suck at dancing. I can't be here.
Yeah. He's like, no, I can't dance.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah. Rip
Yeah.
Tintin.
The next day again, Tintin he travels. I think he goes to home to our beloved captain as well. Without his without Calculus Man, aka Sunflower Man. And Tintin he greets Nesta he says that the captain he is in a deep sadness, depression, I think.
Aww.
And he's gone 10 years older.
Oh.
And he's just sitting in the living room.
Just like in the span of a few days, he has like a half gray beard, and Tintin's like, dude, what?
What happened?
Captain, what have you been doing?
Yeah.
And I was like, did you dye your hair? Captain's like, no.
He's like, what are you talking about, Tintin? Tintin's like, no, never mind, how are you? And Captain's like, I'm sad, Tintin. I feel like I've aged 10 years. Tintin's just kind of like, uh-huh. Because, like, yeah, you look like it.
Yeah. And the captain, he asks if Tintin has any news. And he doesn't, which is sad.
Oh.
Yeah. And the captain, he gets a call with his phone. His old-timey phone. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, he's like, what are you saying? A mechanic? Yes! And he rushes upstairs to his room and gets like up the stairs, and he changes in the split of a second and gets like this giant bag of what looks to be nothing, what looks to be like sand or whatever.
It looks like a body's in there.
Yeah, he's like, don't worry about this, Tintin. I just needed to grab the body because I remembered that I quickly need to bury it. And Tintin's like, oh.
Wait.
Yeah, don't mind me. I'm just holding a corpse.
I have a game theory. You remember from last time where we thought that Mr. Sunflower he's like committing mass murder.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Haddock is helping him because maybe because why he loves him. He has a corpse in the bag, so he's like going to bury it.
So the theory is that Haddock and Sunflower are in love, and because of this, when Sunflower killed a man, Haddock was hiding it.
Yeah, and he gets happy for some reason.
That's probably why he was looking for the burial ground in the beginning of the book.
Oh yeah,
It all makes sense.
It does make sense. Goodness
And Haddock
gracious.
came to get the burial ground and got it for Calculus, and now that's the body.
Yeah.
That's just a theory.
Yeah. So the captain he's ill. He needs to do something, and Snowy he's chasing the cat again for the third time I think, and he stumbles into the giant armor thing, and the poor Snowy gets captured by a helmet, and it's really sad. So Snowy, he's like sad and running out with the helmet on and like tumbling down every single stair there is. And the captain, he's taking a shot of his beloved whiskey, and he looks at a picture of Calculus, aka Mr. Sunflower, and he's like hallucinating. And
Also,
Mr. Sunflower just popped.
Isn't it kind of weird for him to have this portrait? Like, first of all, it's like a pure red background, which I suppose is just the blood of his enemies or something.
The blood of his enemies.
But like, they haven't really known each other that long, have they? And then Haddock just like has this portrait hanging in the house. Like, I get that. I get that Sunflower paid for the house for Haddock. But that's still like kind of weird.
He's just putting pictures of himself up in his house.
Like, whoever put up this painting because it's like not. It can't be a photo. It's like this gilt frame, and it looks like a painting.
Yeah.
Maybe
like,
it's maybe it's
put
his
that
high
in
school.
there.
Maybe it's his high school portrait. Just decided to put that there.
Yeah. Could be.
Wow, that's a crazy high school portrait. He has like a full beard and he's half bald.
Well, you know, people age differently.
It's his high
Yeah.
school photo from 1707 when he's like some sort of immortal, like whatever or something.
Yeah. And yeah. Then because like the captain is like hallucinating, like Mr. Sunflower just pops out of the picture frame, and he's just saying a little more
Yeah.
to the west, a little more west.
A little more to the west.
Yeah. So he yeets out this bottle, and on the lower left picture, it just looks like he's like really tiny, and has like giant pants
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And the captain he just yeets this bottle outside, and it lands in
Yeah.
in a water bucket, somewhat bottle.
Which is there outside for some reason.
Yeah. Maybe for Snowy to drink. I don't know. And unfortunately, Snowy starts drinking from the very bucket, which is now cup, which now has whiskey on it. So
Yeah.
he turns into a tipsy dog.
Why is Snowy always getting drunk?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Snowy's just JJ just like to torture Snowy.
Apparently. Poor Snowy.
I know, right?
Well, I mean, I guess Snowy's having the time of his life because he's drunk, but...
He's been beaten up. He's been drunk. What else
Kicked.
could happen? What worse can
Yeah.
happen?
A few minutes later, they are driving in the car, and the captain he explains that the police called, and the light brown car, which, you know, was seen as a mechanic in the nearby city.
Yeah.
And they drove. They continued to the. They were driving to the dock.
Yeah.
Towards the dock. Yeah. Yeah, and he assumes with his Sherlock like predictions that they're going out sailing.
Mm-hmm. They're just going for a nice little sail.
Yeah. So then they're going to follow them, of course. Then it starts raining, which is unfortunate as well.
Of course it does.
Yeah, and just when they get the like roof over, it stops raining. Funny money.
Yeah. They're like...
Yada yada yada, stuff. They arrive at the next day. They arrive at the dock, and they talk to I think the police officer, or like the police head of police. I
Yeah.
think. And he reads the report, which says a light brown car was seen outside the city. But they don't know where. Yeah. Then he calls the police, like lieutenant guy, and the car has been found in the ocean. Yeah, it was clearly driven there.
Turns out they were fish people the whole time and returned to their home.
No.
The
they were
end.
aliens.
Yeah. I
I
mean...
Yeah, and the number plate was also removed. Yeah, identification was removed. Then they're like, oh, okay, well, we can't really do much then. And they're starting to the Tintin and had a walking down the dock, which actually looks pretty cool. And
It does. It looks like a really cool place.
Yeah. And Tintin he sees guess who? General Alcazar.
Ooh.
Woo!
Alcazar!
Yay! And he's
Yay!
and he's like, adios de meu vida, Tintin, amigo mío. And Alcazar he explains that he wants to go home to his country. And he also explains that his partner Chiquite, the guy that got thrown Knives Head left, which I can understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I think I'm done getting knives thrown at my head so
Yeah.
I'm peacing out.
Yeah. Yeah. And Alcas also explains that before they arrived in Europe, he said that that his partner will leave him at a certain moment, and that he shouldn't be worried. Um, and Tintin, he asks and concludes that he left on the 12th, and asks if his Alcazar's partner was Indian. Wait, no, American,
that's...
Native American. Yeah, that's the word.
Oh.
Um.
It just says...
Oh yeah, he was Incan. And then he uses his big brain plays. And they're like, okay, that's probably it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes back to the captain, and he explains everything Alcazar said, and which was that his partner Chiquito has been away since the 12th, and the night between the 12th and 13th.
Yeah. I wonder if there's some connection.
Yeah, and the 13th Tarragon, he got yeeted the crystal balls at him, and he yeah, and the jewelry got stolen. And the 13th.
It was that guy the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and the Sunflower Man also got kidnapped. And the other thing is that Chicoito, aka Alcazar's partner, his name is really Rupak Inca Huko. And it's Incan.
Close enough.
Shut up. And it's Incan, and I don't know why that's important.
It's important because the corpse that went missing was from the Incan land.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And so
yeah,
that is the reason it gives that guy a reason to, put people into comas or something. Just like.
I think it's a bit of a stretch, but
yeah. It might be, but
yeah,
it's the only lead they've got.
Yeah.
True. They've just been like $2,000 on.
They've just been driving around
looking for things.
Case.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then the captain, he gets yeeted up in the air by Cream for some reason, and
he likes to be tall.
Yeah.
I think he sat on these boxes that were being loaded into a ship, and it just so happened that he was sitting on them at the time they were being loaded, and also no one saw him there for some reason.
Yeah, I found that a bit weird. Maybe someone is shipping him.
With who?
Wait.
Probably Sunflower.
That could be.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's actually pretty ironic.
Yeah.
No. So they go explain to the head of police about everything here, and he also is like, it's a bit of a stretch, but it could be. So then they drive.
They say the same thing as us.
Yeah.
We're cops now, friends.
Then Tintin, he asks if the captain, he wants to visit the Captain Chester from Shooting Stars, which we don't talk about.
Yeah, we only half talk about it.
Only 50%.
Trust me, Chester exists. He's a friend of Haddock's. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's his entire
really
existence.
Yeah. I didn't remember that he appeared more after Shooting Star. I just kind of thought that he was a Shooting Star character, and
just for Shooting Star.
I mean, could be. Yeah.
I mean, we never physically see him again, I think, but he's technically in this comic, so he does come back.
His memory lives on.
Rip.
The man who remains.
R.I.P. He died.
Then I'm hungry. Then the captain he like kicks English you son. Then he kicks this hat, which is a green hat, under, which is like there's like a brick under it, so whoever kicks the hat like hurts the foot because that's funny.
Get pranked.
Get pranked. Can you not see the camera? And Snowy he
Not
takes the
pranked.
hat again. He takes the hat again, and Tintin he says, why would you take that rotten hat? And guess whose hat it is? Sunflower Man's hat. Isn't that ironic? Like coincidentally.
That is very coincidental.
Yes.
Tintin's like, holy crap, Snowy, a clue just fell into our lap.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh man, if Haddock hadn't kicked that hat, then maybe we would never found him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job. And then these two grown men go to ask these two young boys.
Times were different back then.
Yeah. Tintin he asks he looks so home, so like nice. He's like smiling. Hello, my friend. And Tintin he asks, can you tell us where you found this hat? And they say, yeah, we found it at the stock house 17 this morning.
Yeah.
Aboard the ship Black Cat. And the men were removing a box where the hat was under. And it was like flat. And he also says that it wasn't him that put the rock under the hat. It was his friend.
He's selling out his friend. He's like, oh, it wasn't me.
Yeah. Then they go to the dock control thingy where they like keep track of everything, and they say that those boxes from Black Cat arrived the 14th with the train, and this morning they were put on board. Wait, no, mind. They arrived with the train the 14th, and this morning they were put on the ship Black Cat. And Tintin asks if there was a ship by storage house 17 the day before the boxes arrived. I mean, I think that's like really cool that they can like keep track of that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really awesome.
yeah. And he says the 14th there was a Peruvian
Yeah.
ship called Pagamag, which arrived from Callao the 10th and had a load of guano aboard and sailed back to Callao the 14th with a storage of barrels. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Yada yada yada. They go.
Basically, they're doing detective.
Yeah. So now they're flying to Callaway. Yeah. That's this.
It's a weird
comic.
looking plane.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool looking plane. I like how so
Yeah.
much things are yellow in this comic. I think that's cool.
Yeah. It's a nice color.
Yeah, there are so many yellow things for some
Yeah.
reason.
I'm just glad that it's not that ugly yellow color like that one background in Star. Like, not to be mean or anything, that was a horrible color to look at.
Yup.
Yeah, at least it wasn't like always yellow, like in like the yellow
Yeah.
background. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm glad it isn't.
But yeah, that's that book. We'll probably
Yeah.
see more about this
It ends
comic.
on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first one that ends and then has stuff that goes over into the next. It overarches.
Are
into
you
the
sure
next.
about that?
Yeah, because the next one they have to go and find Calculus, who was kidnapped in this comic. So it like goes over
Well,
into the next.
we just read the Unicorn Secret and Rackham the Red's treasure.
Oh, that's a good. Well,
And I also think But yeah, you have a point. This is like these are two like the most like correlating comics.
It's like two halves of one story. Because it does end on like a cliffhanger note. Because with Unicorn, it wasn't as much of one. It's just
Yeah.
like, because they wrapped up that story, and
Yeah.
then it's like, oh yeah, we can go and find this later. But then this one, it's like halfway through, Calculus gets kidnapped, and we don't get him back until the next. And so you're kind of like, oh gosh, what happens next? And it's more of like a cliffhanger than Unicorn was.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
because we figured out who was behind the crystal balls, but the guys are still in a coma, and then Calculus is, so there's still stuff that needs to be wrapped up, as opposed to
Or like continuing an investigation.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. I think that's pretty cool. Like, that's
Yeah.
a good aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, Hirsch's writing got really good. Like the
Mm-hmm.
middle comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts, people?
I think it was a really good. It was fun and interesting. It had a bit more mystery than some of the others did. It's like, oh, who's behind it? Like these mysterious crystal ball incidents, and why are they going into comas? And so,
Yeah.
it's really fun. And then it's the beginning of like a different kind of, if that makes sense.
Mm. I think they talked a lot, but it wasn't like what was it? It wasn't like a unicorn secret or
Yeah, it wasn't like info dumping.
yeah. It was more like
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It was more like dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also like a lot of action that's going on.
Yeah.
You know, with the crystal balls and like Calculus getting kidnapped and like I just feel like there's like a lot of action
Mm.
Yeah, there's
with
a
them
lot
driving
of like
around in cars and stuff.
it's a lot of exciting stuff that goes. So
Mm-hmm.
I think in my opinion, I think we are at Tarragon too much, like at his house. I would like to be,
Yeah.
because he's just a side character. He doesn't bring anything else. But yeah,
Oh yeah, that's true.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah,
at least
that's
there's
just
like a gunfight scene that's happened
yeah.
in his yard. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was important that they're there so that Calculus gets kidnapped or something. I don't know.
Calculus gets teleported. Wait, what happened?
Teleported.
Calculus
What?
gets teleported.
Calculus picked up the bracelet that was because the person who made the body disappear or whatever, they had
Oh yeah, the
taken
body
jewelry,
teleported. I'm mixing them up.
and yeah. So the guy who they shot from the window was injured and climbed up into the to avoid being detected. And then Calculus comes the next day, and the guy is still up in the tree. And when Calculus picks up the bracelet, this guy is mad and then attacks Calculus and kidnaps him. And so that's
I
basically
see.
what happened.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that. Okay, yeah, now it makes
Yeah.
sense. But yeah,
It
the
was kind of
mystery will unfold in the next comic
yeah.
as to why
But I
they
mean,
really kidnapped him.
the part about him being kidnapped, that's what's going to be solved. Not
Yeah.
so much who was behind the whole crystal ball thing. Because we
Yeah.
did discover that. It kind of seemed like a bit out of nowhere. It's just like the last few pages, it's like, this guy did it. And it's like, okay, that makes sense, but like.
Yeah, it kind of felt like they were going on a wild goose chase.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
it
there's a
didn't
lot
really
of.
lead anywhere until after like he talked to like General Alcazar.
Yeah. Like, it's just he has one conversation,
Yeah.
and there's like a few other things, but Tintin just walks up to Alcazar, like, totally incidentally. He's just talking to a friend. And then, it's like, here's the important clue you needed to tell you who was behind it. And Tintin's like, oh, okay, I've got it. And it's just like, I kind of get where it was going, but it just seems really abrupt and strange.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like the car scenes, the car chase scenes are kind of like unimportant.
Yeah. The
And
card stuff
also,
is
like,
kind
they also
of weird.
crammed in, like, oh, by the way, here is Professor Calculus's hat.
Yeah. Well, that
Yeah.
was kind of important because they're like, oh, Calculus was here, and now we know that he's off to a different country, and we're gonna go after him. So I do get that part, but
Oh
it's
yeah,
just kind
that's
of like,
true.
it was kind of strange
I just don't like
how,
the way it was like, revealed.
yeah, it was like,
Like he kicked a hat, and there you go.
it could
That's
have
how
been
you know.
any hat. It's just, everything at the end falls together incidentally, like just by pure chance, and they're very lucky that it does, so that they can go and
Yeah.
find their friend. But like, it's just so strange.
Yeah, there are a
Yeah.
lot of coincidences. It's kind of it's too noticeable.
Yeah, it's like, this guy did it, and here's Calculus's hat, so now we know where he's going, and it's like, that's a lot to happen in a few pages.
Yeah, it seems like
Yeah.
they just try to rush it, like rush the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Hergé forgot that we were like that there was a mystery, and they just decided to put in a bunch of car scenes. It was like, oh yeah, I have to explain this.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
lot of stuff with cars.
Yeah, there's a lot
Like, it
of
was just
car
And gunfights.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah, it would have been nice if it was like tied together with the action, but they just
Yeah.
seemed like separate things.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good comic. It just had some weird moments.
It just had some weird pacing
It's not a
stuff.
bad comic, I think. It's
It's not bad.
not bad.
Yeah.
You need to focus when you're reading it. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not.
You
like
really need to be like paying attention,
Yeah.
like getting every detail.
Yeah, it's not like Red Rackham's Trisha or something. Or like
Yeah.
Mhm.
Red
Lotus.
Rackham felt,
It
because
was a
like
bit
between
underwhelming.
Red Rackham, kind of like, as much as it wasn't like, as much as it didn't feel like that much of a big deal, it was like its own story separate from, like, it tied into each other, but they were separate.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
yeah, but also in Sun Temple, the it's only like the beginning that has a direct connection. Like you can read it and still understand it. I think. I
Yeah.
remember so. It's not like you have
Yeah.
to read the first part, but you
Yeah.
will probably ask like, why did that happen? Lol.
Yeah, you're just kind of confused about the context of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that about it?
Yep, that wraps
Yeah,
it up.
those are my
Yeah.
thoughts.
That's that was the Seven Crystal Balls. Very awkward title. Very
Yes.
late as well. And we of course sorry about that.
Yes,
Yes.
very.
As always, we have been the Tinmore Podcast with Mecca
That's me.
and Melku
That's moi.
and Kosu me. Thank you very much for listening, and we will hopefully be back next Wednesday. But yeah, thank you for listening.
We're gonna
Remember
try.
We're gonna try.
Yeah, we'll try.
Thank you for remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Interact if I give away. Raid Shadow Legends. Kick W. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
Kick.
Bye.